Hello, church. We are back with you for our devotional for Thursday, July 23rd, as we complete today chapter 7 of Song of Songs, and then coming to probably the last two portions of our daily devotional dealing with this piece. Little bit of commentary from which I didn't share yesterday, but just an intriguing perspective from Weems as they're offering these descriptors. And in our portion yesterday, we have this very elaborate, seductive poetry that is being uttered by the shepherd. He makes the comparison to standing like a palm tree and posing. And Weems is going to share something that I found pretty interesting in that. In the end, the maiden's elegant pose is like that of a palm tree from verse 6. The maiden had compared the shepherd to the trees in Lebanon, erect and tall. Here he uses the same tree to describe her as graceful and smooth. Each lover has a gender-biased way of understanding trees. For him, their forms sway gracefully with the wind. For her, their upright, unbowed nature is striking. So this kind of duality between grace and being able to flow and strength and solidness and foundation. And just a good, intriguing little observation from her. So today we have verses 10 to 13, a fairly brief section. This is actually going to be her entire commentary because it's a pretty concise grouping and will hopefully help us understand some of the references that are being made, because we taught in a previous section about references historically to things that we're no longer connected with, nor you'll understand their full context. So Weems will get into a little bit on some significant pieces. And this is after having the shepherd speech. This is the protagonist kind of interrupting, just breaking in for a moment. I am my beloved's, and his desire is for me. Come, my beloved, let us go forth into the fields and lodge in the villages. Let us go out early to the vineyards and see whether the vines have budded, whether the great blossoms have opened and the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my love. The mandrakes give forth fragrance, and over our doors are all choice fruits, new as well as old, which I have laid up for you, O my beloved. We'll do a little quick Pastor Nick translation, because I was reminded of the movie Jerry Maguire. and one of the most famous scenes from that movie, he comes home to Renee Zellweger's character to tell her that he has messed up and life is not the same without her. And ultimately uses one of the most quoted lines of the movie, which is, "You complete me." Her character responds, "Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at hello." And so we've heard from the shepherd to the point now where the protagonist is saying, "Yes, I am yours. You had me from the beginning." Weems commentary. The woman interrupts the man's speech in verse 10. She stakes her possessive claim upon him, which is something that we reference to towards the beginning of our devotions. I am my beloved's, and his desire is for me. As she did using similar language in 2:16 and also in 6:3. If part of God's curse upon the woman in Genesis 3:16 was that she be ruled by her desire for her husband, then certainly the woman in Song of Songs comes to restore mutuality to life outside Eden, where the man's desire for a woman is equally determinative. She repeats his invitation to join in a pastoral twist. Interesting use of pastoral for this guy's profession, right? But yeah, very, very, hopefully, that's a different thing. But this time, she has a tryst of her own in mind and beckons him into the fields and villages, literally henna flowers, to survey the plants that bloom there, vines, grapes, pomegranates, and mandrakes, each of which was associated with sensuality and fertility. In verse 11, she openly beckons him to the fields and leaves no doubt in the audience's mind as to her intentions. There I will give you my love. In a book filled with coded, figurative speech between lovers, this is perhaps the protagonist's boldest, most open declaration. She recalls the image of the mandrake as a recognized aphrodisiac in Israel's national fiction. Interesting little bits there. And there's also a parallel that I'll point out. While this is a briefer portion than what we were hearing from the shepherd in the other section, Weems also identified that this is the most bold declaration that the shepherd is making in his love for the protagonist, and paralleled by her declaration as well. So that's it for chapter 7. We'll be back with you for our start of chapter 8, and then after that, we will be finishing things up. Thank you so much for being a part of our devotionals, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.